Estás escuchando DeLoco Podcast.
It's like a little bit, yeah, porque la cámara will get you there. So
I'm like, where's the camera?
Yeah,
It's like right
yeah,
over
bro,
there.
it's in disguise,
Little
bro.
hidden camera.
It's in disguise, como el señor. He's in disguise, but he's watching, baby.
I think that should be good.
He's watching, dude.
I just feel.
All right, perfect, man.
What's the deal with the wrestling belt?
Check.
Bro, so I'm a big wrestling fan, bro. Huge since I was a kid. I mean, my wife makes fun of me like Saturdays, like if there's a pay-per-view, like she'll make fun of me, like I'll go buy food and she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "There's a fight today." She goes, "A fight?" I said, "Yeah." It's like 6:00 and she's like, "That's the fight you're talking about?" I said, "Dude, come on, dude. Get with the program."
She's thinking like a boxing UFC fight.
Yeah, and she's like, you know that's rigged, right? I said,
That's messed up.
every time, bro. I was like, "Who told? No, there's no way."
You're like, it's scripted?
Yeah, I was like, "Come on, dude, come on."
So you grew up on wrestling?
Dude, big time, man, big time. I know right now, me and my brothers, we're trying to do our very best to go to Vegas since it'll be Cena's last WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah,
I heard about that.
So I'm a huge John Cena fan, dude. I don't care if people pick on me after.
No, yeah.
I've worn his shirts, dude. Like, that's my guy. But he already announced like he's done. Like, I know he said it on a podcast recently. Like, they asked him, like, "Be serious, like, you're gonna keep going?" He's like, he goes, "Man, I can't even run down the ramp anymore, man."
Oh, damn, that bad?
Well, he said it has to do with the wrestling, and then he was building to become a bodybuilder. He didn't make it, so he still kept that training while he was in WWE.
Oh, damn.
So that's why he goes, "My body's already out of fatigue."
Dude, and his movies are funny.
Oh,
There's no need for him to keep
Nah,
wrestling. I
dude.
feel like he already has that.
He's good. And I know he did announce and he did say honestly that he's gonna still be a part of wrestling, but not wrestling. Like, he's gonna just do different things, like help Triple H, like make events or do different things. So they don't want to lose. Like, Triple H doesn't want to lose him. Like, he knows he's very creative, so he wants to keep him.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, dude, that's why I always have this belt, and this belt's very special to me because I bought this belt when
Looks super legit.
yeah,
Super legit.
so everybody always asks where I purchased this. So everybody's gonna find out today. So this is a special belt that I've taken care of for so long. But in 2017, it meant a lot because Toys R Us was closing.
Oh, damn.
And they announced, this is when they would put on the newspaper.
Yeah.
They put, grab your WWE belts or action figures for 70% off before closing.
I got this thing.
Yeah, this thing feels legit.
I remember we were going, my dad surprised us and said, "We're going to go to the Rumble." And that was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're like, we didn't even go to church, nothing, dude. So we're like, what? So I woke up early, woke up at 7, and I went right when they opened up the doors, dude. And I went and I grabbed it.
Dang.
I grabbed it. I think it was like a regular $130. I ended up paying like, not even joking, dude, like probably like $60.
Yeah, that's super legit.
I know we had a cousin. He was like, man, probably like 4 years younger than us.
Yeah.
And this dude loved wrestling. Like, and he was the only child, so his mom had every arena, like the toy arenas. We go to his house, and like we weren't into wrestling, but like we were like his older brother, so he'd always be like, "Come over,
dude.
play with me." And this dude had like the cage one.
Oh wow, he had the big old Hell in a Cell one.
Hell in a Cell, yeah, dude. Every character, like, dude, he's the one who told us like to suck it, like the DX thing. So he taught us that. Yeah,
Bro, you know how many times I got in trouble in school with that, bro? Golly, even to like the guys that are listening right now, I used to work with some of those guys. So I used to work right here off of East Josephine Street, right? I'm not gonna say a name, but it's a laboratory place, right? And I would work nights, and sometimes, like, man, dude, the nights would take too long. Like, you have to. So I was in charge of making like the medicine that was there. So, dude, I would have to make time, right? So we'd be there messing around, and I'd be like, "Hey, you see that?" And be like, "What? You see that over there?"
I know his great grandma, dude, she was like that. She would buy all the pay-per-views.
Really?
Like that was the only time like we'd go to their house and watch the pay-per-views. And she's like, "Oh, bro, like 70 years old, just still watching pay-per-view fights, dude."
That's crazy.
She loved wrestling like that.
I know when WWE moved over to their own network, a lot of people were kind of like, "Oh, it's better." I mean, right now they're with Peacock or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But come January, baby, that Attitude Era is coming back. Like they're already slowly showing everybody, okay, this PG era is
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Like we're going back.
I like the era that's my son's. They're into wrestling right now, so I got to see like the Roman Reigns era.
Oh, dude,
him lose his title, and now I'm loving the whole.
Right now, this story is
yeah.
It's
His
cooking
son,
right now,
his
dude.
son's 5 years old, and we always mess with him because he likes Becky Lynch. We always say like, "You like Becky Lynch?" Like, no, I don't. No, I don't. He gets all upset. Yeah, we're like, you love her, dude.
You love her, bro. No, I don't. No, I don't. Hey, look, Becky Lynch, where?
Exactly.
All bad.
Oh, dude, we went to a card show and like there was a Becky Lynch card. We're like, look for you. He was getting all bad.
He was all bad, dude.
Oh, dude, dang, man. Well, that's cool, man. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back to DeLoco Podcast. I know it's been quite some time since you heard this beautiful, hermoso voice, but welcome back to DeLoco Podcast. I am your host, Gilberto de la Rosa, and today we have two very special people here with us today. We're going to get right into that. You can listen to DeLoco Podcast right here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, and as well, you want to subscribe to YouTube, please. We're already at 1.1K subscribers, so thank you very much for the love and the support that you guys are giving. As well as that, we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, JD and Associates LLC, tax keeping and bookkeeping. Guys, if you guys are still have not done your taxes, stop being huevones and go do it already, right? Don't wait till next year and now you're piled up or you need some bookkeeping, right? Head on over to JD and Associates LLC. They'll take care of you there. So today we have another podcast that's here with us today. 99 for 1. We have Matt and we have Rob here with us today. So very good friends of my friend Gilly. So I know I've been following you guys, and then I saw some of the stuff that you guys have been posting about. Also faith believers as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I like that you guys have y'all's twist on how y'all do y'all's podcast. Yeah. And I think you guys fit in very well with me because I don't like to keep it very boring. I know everybody's different, right? Yeah. And to which his own. There's been podcasts that I watch and it's just nothing but biblically, like it's just straightforward. And I like those too. Yeah. But I also feel like there's some like ours that people like to enjoy too. Like, hey, look, man, those guys are faith believers, but hey, they're having fun, you know, and we can have fun. That's what we're here to do. For sure. So thank you guys, man, for being here. I know it was kind of a not a last minute thing, but I said, nah, let me get these guys because you guys are gonna go far from the topics and the stuff I've seen. You guys are gonna
appreciate that.
You guys are gonna make it, bro. Like you guys really got some good stuff. But by the way, like I did. So right now you mentioned something. Right now you guys got here. We're talking and whatnot. Let me move, bro, porque miro nomás el boom.
We're like,
so you did mention, and I don't know. That's why I didn't say nothing. But you said, is this your? So there's a term, right? Everybody, hermanos, my brother. Is this your actual blood brother?
Yeah, we're actually
really.
We're actually brothers.
So who's older?
I'm older. Yeah,
everyone thinks the beard.
You look older, dude.
But the twist is I'm older, but just by 11 months.
Really,
11 months older than.
So how old are you guys?
I'm 30.
I'm 29. I'll be 30 in October.
In October. So you're in October?
Yeah,
I'm in October as well. I'll turn 32 this year.
Nice. Okay.
That's what I'll turn 32. Yeah. What October? What?
30th.
30th?
Yeah.
I'm the 18th.
Okay, nice. My wife's like the 26th, so we're like
26?
only like 4 days. She's only 4 days older than me.
Oh wow, dude. Yeah. So for me and my wife's October 8th, and then I'm October 18th.
Nice.
And then my wife's twin sister, Denisse, she's October 8th, and then her husband's October 10th.
Oh, dang.
Almost a party,
bro. It's crazy,
party,
bro. The month of October, man.
Yeah.
Pero los babies de octubre son los más hermosos, bro. That's why I tell everybody, I was like, who's born in October? Come on, baby.
Matt's December 1st, so like October
December
30th, then all the way till December 1st, we're both the same age.
Dang, dude.
So it's kind of crazy. Like we're both gonna be 30 this year, but then
dude.
only for a month.
Only for a month, only for a month. Yeah, that's cool. So how do you do it? So my brother, his birthday is on the 29th of December. Like it's like days after 28th. I'm sorry, 28th of December. So it's like days after Christmas. So do you like throw a party for your birthday, or you wait till after Christmas?
No,
or?
I'll celebrate my birthday like right on the 1st.
Okay.
When it comes to birthdays, I'm a big like baby because I always want to have a good time. I want to do something, but at the same time, I want my wife to like plan something like big for me.
That's something for me.
This dude threw a big old argument just because he didn't get balloons.
One year I did.
I remember that. I was like, what's wrong with Matt? He didn't get his balloons.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah, 1 year I think I turned 21.
He wasn't a kid either. Yeah,
exactly.
He was 21.
Yeah, I was 21.
You're like, how old was he? 8? No, he was 21.
I make a big deal about it every year.
I'm the same way too, bro.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
the same way.
That's cool, man. And so did you guys grow up in the church, or did you guys come to Christ, or how did that work? Like, how did y'all's faith come to come to be?
So we didn't grow up in the church at all. Like our grandma, like every other San Antonio grandma, Catholic, you know. Yeah. So we'd go to Easter and Christmas, go to Mass. You Mass, know? That was it. Eat the communion, didn't even know what we were eating. Yeah. Just taking the bread and the cracker, thinking it's a joke. Going lighting candles, all that stuff. But I think maybe my dad started going to church. Our stepdad started going to church first when we were probably like 12, 13 years old. And me and Matt were living a rebellious life at that time. And like our uncle, he owns a tattoo shop on the west side, Heart of Texas Tattoos. And we grew up in the tattoo industry. So anytime we were at the tattoo shop, we were living like we were heathens, man. Yeah, just crazy. And so like our stepdad would try to be a little bit more controlling, and he decided he wanted to go to church probably, like I said, when we were like maybe 12, 13, and we didn't want nothing to do with that. And then we kind of saw the two-faced side of things. Like he was going to church, but at the same time still like arguing with our mom. And so we didn't get like a good taste of that. We'd go every once in a while, but it was probably when I was 16, I got radically saved.
Nice,
and,
man.
Yeah. I stopped cussing, stopped drinking, gave up what I thought was going to be my career in tattooing, gave that up, and just started following Christ because my mom was interceding for me, fasting, praying for me. And Matt could tell his part of that story right there.
Yeah, so probably, man, like a few months after he got saved, I stayed behind. I was living with my uncle at the time, and I was living my life up. I had everything, you know. I thought I had everything. It was my own car. I'm 18 years old. I have my own car. I'm driving around. You know, I'm bad kid, smoking weed, and I see my brother over here sacrifice everything, and I was kind of just, I would say in a sense, like, I was like, man, how did his life change like that? You know, because he sacrificed. And everything's like, oh, the older brother's supposed to be the one, you know, to sacrifice, and he did it. And just one day he messaged me and he's like, hey man, like come over to like a family event. And I went over to the family event and I saw him having a good time, my whole family having a good time. And I missed them. You know, I miss being with my family because we were away from each other for months. And from there, my mom invited me to church. And I remember just walking into that church. Oh, How He Loves Us was playing in the background, nice. during the worship set, and I just see this big old image of Jesus on the wall, and it was his face was like all bloody, and I remember just at that moment, just this like the Spirit just kind of like falling over me and just making me feel like emotional, like what is this whole thing about? And from that moment on, I turned my back from living with my uncle, and then started going to that church, and of course, ups and downs from that point on, but being that young, being a part of a church and understanding the relationship with Jesus was like the beginning parts of all of it.
Yeah. Nice, man. That's cool, man. I know I can say I had the privilege, right, that I grew up in the church. Mm-hmm. Like I grew up since birth. Like this is all I've ever known, right? But the thing is, like, a lot of people think like, oh, he grew up in the church. He doesn't. I mean, please, dude, don't get me wrong, dude. Like, believe me, I've had my ups and my downs to where I'm living like a heathen, like I'm going to church, but yet I'm still like, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'll wait till I get. Everybody usually don't wait till you're older. I used to say that in my mind, whatever. But it's a decision that I like to emphasize, like with everybody. Right, I talk to them. I tell them on the podcast, like, to just trust him. Like I know I told the last guy, Arman. So shout out to him. He was on the last episode, is that my abuelito used to always tell us, Dios primero, meaning God first, and the rest will come. Mm-hmm. We have heart's desires. Like, God knows your heart's desire. Like, He knows it. Like, He knows you want to do this. He knows you want to do that. But if you place Him first, He'll line everything up if it's according to His way. Yeah. And maybe what you thought is good, He'll give you something that's even better. And some people don't like that because to get there, it's not easy. Yeah. So it's like, I've heard this so many times, like, bro, I take a step forward, then I take 3 steps back. And it's like, my brother, like, I know how you feel. Like, I've been there. I've done that. Like, I've been praying about it. Like, just like recently, me and my wife have been praying, like, about purchasing another house. With the way the market is and stuff like that, we've been like, And it's like anything else. Maybe we could have been blind around. God's like, look, the interest rate, look, you know, and we're like, I'm going to buy one. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I asked God, like, okay, look, what is the smartest decision? Like, I changed my prayer in the morning. I said, what is the smartest decision, not just for me, but for me, for my family? What's the smartest thing? And, bro, it's like so weird. Like, this is like, I talked to Gilly about this, and I told my mom about it, but it's weird how God can speak to you in your dream and how you remember that dream. Yeah. But any other ones, you're like, bro, who was that in my dream? No, yeah. Basically, in this dream, me and my wife were in a house, looking at a house. And there was a guy that was across the street, like just staring, like he was just like this, like across the street with his arms crossed. And the lady was like, who the heck is that guy over there? Like, he keeps looking in. And she got on the phone. And then I look out the window and the guy's not there. And I was like, what guy is she talking about? Like, I don't see the guy she's talking about. My wife's like, I don't know. And dude, it was one of those dreams, right? Like, you're like, man, it feels like super real, dude. Like, it feels like it's happening. Like, we're going to buy this house. It was a nice house, like a house that my wife wants, like a farmhouse looking type of house. Like, she wants it. Well, we left, and when we're leaving, I'm going to my car, and on the reflection, I see the guy, and I'm about to turn around, and he's got this hoodie on, and he's got a beard. And he tells me, don't turn around. And I said, I'm like, man, I'm going to get robbed, big dog. I'm about to get robbed, big dog. I haven't even moved in yet, dog.
It's a good neighborhood.
I'm about to get robbed right now.
Like, wake me up, wake me up.
Yeah, and then he just leans over, and he says, stay put. Mm-hmm. And I said, what? When I said I turned, like, he was gone.
Yeah.
3 days later, me and my wife were sitting at dinner. And then my wife's like, hey, babe, I want to talk to you now. I don't want you to get mad. I don't want you to. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I don't want to move. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, nah, I think it's best that we just stay here. Like, maybe we can add to the house, and I'll be happy with us adding the house. We can redo it. Like, she started, we could do the restrooms. We could do it. And I'm like, I saw her excited, and I said, okay, God, I hear you. All right, then. Yeah. This is it. And I've been praying for months, bro, like months and months and months. And we're going on vacation. Like I told you guys right now, we're going to go to Cancun. And I already had told her when we come back, like I was telling her 2 months ago, we come back. I already got with my guy. We're going to put it on the market, blah, 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 blah. And look, 2 weeks before we leave, God says, no, you're going to stay put. Don't do it. So I told my wife, okay, God knows. Like, he knows what's best for us. So we're not going to do anything. But to see the joy in my wife's eyes, like she didn't want to leave, especially because my daughter's going to start school already. And the school she's going to is only 3 minutes from our house.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Compared to like 10, 12 minutes, bro. And I'm a big dad's girl, bro. Like, big time, bro. Like, I was already like, man, how am I going to do it, bro? Like, I know my wife, she's going to listen, she's going to laugh, but I tell her still to this day, I'm like, hey, you think they can give me like a guest pass to sit with her all day the first day? Or for real, she's like, no, that you're ruining it. Like, she's got to be by herself. I was like, yeah, but I'll just stand outside. Like, I'll be there all day. Or she's like, no, you got to.
I think it's important, like how you're saying, you know, God knows our desires, which is so true. Like, God knows what we desire, but there's desires that he has that he puts in your heart. And I believe like one of those desires that desire that you had for the new home wasn't a desire that he had put there. It might be a desire that you have. And you never know, like I've done that with Matt where we're like, just pray, let's pray on it, man. And we pray on it. And God, I told him like, dude, you'll know when God has a blessing for you because it looks impossible. Yeah. Like the impossible becomes possible. You know that you couldn't have done it and only God could have done it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with this dude in his home. And it was just like, man, you know, we have desires for ourselves all the time. And I'm speaking from experience because I'm like this really big on wanting things. And my wife's like, we don't need that. And then I've finally learned patience as I'm walking with Christ now. It's like, just because I want it doesn't mean it's the right time.
The right time, yeah.
Like, just a funny story is like a year ago, I wanted a dog. I mean, for 3 years, I've been wanting a dog.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies actually had a dog, but my son was allergic at this time. He was only like a year old, and he was allergic. We were like, man, we can't get a dog because he starts itching, his eczema starts acting up. And then, like, you know, 3 years go by. My son's 4 years old. He's finally, you know, old enough. And then my buddy was like, I start praying, like, God, I want a dog. As simple as it sounds, right? Yeah. Like, just a dog. And I was like, man, God, I really want a dog. And I tell my wife, like, look, if someone gives me a dog, would you say yes? And she's like, if someone's gonna give us a dog for free that you want, like, by all means, let's do it.
Let's do it.
So I hit up my buddy. He breeds bullies. And I'm like, hey, bro, like, what does a bully cost? Because that was the dog I wanted. And he's like, bro, like, I have a bully right here that I'm trying to rehome. We never breeded her. Like, she's a family dog and we want to keep her in the family. Like, if you want her, we'll give her to you for free.
Nice.
And dude, this is like over $1,000 dog.
Yeah, man.
And she's already potty trained. She came with the kennel, everything.
Nice.
And so like my wife's like, well, then it must be meant to be, you know?
Meant to be, yeah.
So I think like it's so important. Timing is everything. With
Timing
God.
is everything. Yeah, man. And that's why like to be honest with you, bro, it happens like my mind was running like, okay, especially as a husband and as a dad, like, okay, how am I going to do it? Like, okay, I'm going to do this. Where am I going to put the stuff at? After I put the stuff at, how am I going to make sure that we get that house? Okay, how much more am I going to have to be able to put aside or take away in order to do that?
Yeah.
But at the same token, I want a truck. Like, I have my truck right now, right? But my God knows and my wife knows I need a newer truck. Yeah. So I'm like, man, how am I don't know how I'm going to do it. Like, I was like, God, I'm going to trust you. Like, I'm going to trust you. And like, literally, like, I told my wife, you know what? Like, God was literally saying, like, you know, and I'm sounding like human, like anybody else. We can be selfish at times, right? Like, literally, I saw this post and it says, the job that you have, that you cry about, somebody else would be blessed to have that job that you have.
Yeah.
That house that you're crying about that you want to upgrade, somebody would be crying and be blessed to have the house that you have. The car that and I started reading, I was like, dude.
I always say first world problems.
Bro.
Because that's how we act, bro.
Bro, like, I'm like,
first world
and
problems.
literally when I was reading that, I said, man, Lord, I'm real chiflado. Like, golly, like, if I wanted, like, I have that, if I want to, look, I don't know, bro, I'll get it. But it doesn't work that way. Like, I get it, you know, but.
And we live in a world that's just constantly feeding us. Like, you deserve more.
You deserve more.
It's like a constant something that I've been thinking about lately. My wife and I, we're renting house right now. This is the first house we've ever rented. We've always lived in apartments. Yeah. And the house that we're living in was kind of like our miracle home. Okay. Before that had happened, I don't know if you ever heard of the Kia Boys, but the Kia Boys were always like, maybe about like a year ago, the Kia Boys were stealing Kias and Honda.
Oh, yeah, bro. Like the Kia Boys. I was like, the Kia Boys.
Yeah. So like,
the Kia Boys on here?
We're not get the Kia Boys, big dog.
So the Kia Boys.
Talk to them real quick.
How'd y'all do it, big dog? Because I need a new whip.
So the Kia Boys struck our car. The Kia Boys stole our Honda.
No.
Yeah. So that trend got our car taken, and they took that car literally almost close to the border, and they totaled it. They rollover accident, totaled it, couldn't get the car back. So that was like our only family vehicle. Oh. So a week before that, we were living in this like really bad apartment. I told my wife, you know what, like, we need to move out of this apartment. We need to, you know, get into something better. Yeah. So we had like a transition period where it was like, hey, we'll stay at our in-laws for a couple of months and then we'll move into another apartment. Well, that weekend we moved in was the weekend that the Kia Boys struck our car and they took it. And so we're stuck at my in-laws. And it was crazy because I was in I guess you could say like I was in a rebellious stage. Like my relationship with Christ was on just pretty much gone. Like, I was lost all my faith. I turned back to my sinful ways. Yeah. And Rob was going to church and he was doing his thing. He was trying to, keep in contact with me. I was visiting his church and stuff. And during that time, I was like, man, I don't know where to go. I'm stuck here. I was like angry all the time. One day he calls me. I had just recently picked up an 85 Chevy pickup and I'm outside working on it. I'm frustrated and he calls me and he hears my voice and he's just talking to me and he's like, hey man, like, I know what you're going through and you need to give your life back to Christ. Like, you need to recommit your life back to Christ. And the one thing he told me was, you need to seek the kingdom first. Like, before anything else, like, seek the kingdom, seek God. And right at this moment, it was crazy because my wife had a friend and she was offering us her apartment, like, just to live there. And that place wasn't good for us. There was things in there that, would have caused us to kind of backslide again. And I remember getting off the phone with him and I was like, I recommitted my life to Christ at that moment. And then I went back inside and I told my wife, I was like, hey, we're not going to move. And she looked at me, she's like, good, because I had a really bad feeling of us moving. And so during that time, I'm trying to figure out like where we're going to go. Yeah, I'm like, hey, we're going to go to another apartment. And so this random apartment popped up and I'm like telling my son like, hey, let's go check it out. So we go check it out it's a Wednesday, so we have service on Wednesday. So I go, me and him he's helping me, kind of build my faith back up. And I go to him and I'm like, hey man, I found this apartment, dude. Like, this is the one. And he knows my situation. I'm like, he's the one. And the next thing he tells me is something I don't want to hear. He's like, I don't know, man. I would just pray and fast about it and see if that is for you. And I remember just like walking away, going up to the altar to worship. I was ready to walk out.
I could tell he just walked away from me. I'm like, oh, he didn't like that.
I didn't like what he said because like how we're talking about, like we want what we want.
Yeah, we want it right then and there.
My family's my sons are sleeping together in one room. My wife and I, the in-laws are upset that we're there already. They're done with us, and I was like, he doesn't understand. But I remember listening to him. But all right, cool. So I remember praying and fasting. And this sounds crazy, but all it took was one day. I got in my car the next morning. I said, all right, Lord, I'm going to pray and fast, and you show me what I need to do. And sure enough, at that moment, I got a text sent to me from my wife, and it was a scripture. She had sent me a scripture, and it was a scripture talking about like if God can't trust you with like the little things, how can He trust you with more? And there was a lot of little things that I needed to take care of before doing anything. So I said, you know what, God, this apartment's not for us, and that's okay. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. That same day, I'm driving into where my in-laws live, and I see a house for rent, and there's a sign pointing to the house. I'm like, interesting. I've never seen this sign before. Long story short, I drive down to where the house is at, and I see it. Beautiful home. And I tell my son, I say, hey, you know what? We're gonna pray for this house right now. We're just gonna pray. If it's in God's will, let's make it happen. We pray for the house. I call. I hear how much the house is going to be. Tell my wife, hey, I think we should apply for it. Okay. Call the owners. Yeah. And then they pretty much tell me, hey, you know what? We have a whole bunch of people looking at this house, but come Monday, you can come check it out. I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, I'm going to be transparent on here. Credit was shot. Nothing looked good. It was bad. Right? So I'm like, you know what? I didn't want to go look at the house, but I was like, you know what? We've been praying on it. Yeah, so I'm going to move by faith, right? So we go, open up the doors. The landlords are like telling my sons, go pick out the room. And I'm like, don't say that. Like, I'm just, and they're like, go pick up. My sons are like, oh my gosh, Dad, we're going to have our own room. Big old backyard. And they're like, hey, do you want to apply for it? And they're like, it's like $80. And I'm like, they're like, you'll find out right now if you will get it or not. I'm like, let us go back home. We'll apply for it. So we apply for it. We prayed, and then I get a text, and it's from the landlord, and they're like, hey, can we talk to you real quick? And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh man, like, what are they going to say? So we get on the phone with them, and this is crazy. So the lady is like running through my credit, dude. She's like pulling up the credit score, dude. Not just like,
hey, bro, remember that game from GameStop?
No, bro. I got your library.
She's like, hey, remember that Rent-A-Center laptop that you never paid for? So she's running through she's going back like 2013, and this is like last year, right? So I'm like, man. And I, at that moment, I was just like, like I was a bad steward, like, and I'm trying to fix that. Like, and I told her, if you told me no right now, I'm gonna keep praying because I believe there's a miracle for me and my family. And she's like, she gets on the phone with my wife. She's like, how are you gonna pay for this home? And my wife's like telling her like, hey, this is like how much we make, whatever. She's like, well, I want to offer the house to y'all. She's like, I'll give you 6 months. She's like, I'll give you 6 months to prove to me that y'all can move in and that y'all can pay my rent and y'all can do everything. And if that works out, I'll extend it. And I was like, okay. And so we got off the phone. I'm in tears because I'm just like, we've been praying on this. We just left like this beat up apartment from the west side, like right off down the street from Commerce Street. So it was just like big old hole in the wall apartment.
Fireworks at night every night.
Crazy gunshots, it's wild. And I remember
called it the Roach Motel.
I call him. I'm like, how do I know? Like, how do I know this is for us? And he's like, if it takes faith for you to have to move, then it's from God.
That's from God, yeah.
And the reason why I say is because we left that last apartment with nothing. There was no beds for the kids, no furniture, nothing.
The roaches got everything.
Yeah, roaches got everything. They infested everything.
That's for real. Had to get rid of it, bro.
For real. He ain't lying. We're telling the truth. So we ended up taking the offer, and they just extended our year again from there. We haven't missed one payment on the house. they even texted me. They're like, I don't know how you're doing it, but thank you for like making this happen.
And they were Christians too.
Yeah, they were Christians.
That's what was crazy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they're Christians
when
too.
he told them like we want to give you this house. Like I remember him telling me like they said like, do you believe in God and like second chances and all that, and that's the reason why they helped him. And it's just crazy like how God works like that. You know, He knows what you need, what you want, and He wants to give you the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what people don't understand.
Crazy
They're
about
like,
it,
no, that's what's for me. Like that new truck. Like, you know, we're talking about trucks. Like, no, the Raptor's for me. And God's like, dude, I got the Tesla truck waiting for you. You don't even know what you're being given, or whatever it is. You know, whatever you like.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's the thing. Like that's something that I had to kind of learn, right, in the long run, right. It's like you want this right now, but it's like, okay, hold on, wait a minute, like wait, just wait. Like there's you know, my dad would always tell me like all the time, like wait. He goes, I tell you this in the physical, but it works in the spiritual too. You gotta wait.
They collect calls.
Collect calls.
The chicken about Matt.
Yeah. Hey, bro, you got that payment coming right now.
We need an advance.
We're watching.
Right there.
Watching your live.
You know, my dad would always tell us like it works in both ways, right? You wait in the physical, like you wait for, I'll wait to get a shirt. And still to this day, I'm that way, right? Like I'll wait to, I don't need the shoes right now. I'll wait. And then I end up going back and end up being good, whatever. My dad goes, it's the same thing with the spiritual. Like you have to use those skills and that gift that God gave you. Like, okay, He wants you to pray. He wants you to trust in Him. So take that, put it in the physical. And yeah, I know you want that, but you may be wanting a Honda Civic. Like you just said, you want a Honda Civic and He's got something else better for you. Like, like don't limit yourself to what God can give you, right?
Exactly.
Tampoco I'm saying God's going to give you $1 billion. Like, God, I want $1 billion by tomorrow, Lord. Like, por favor. Those that are listening, you know what God's going to say? How do you want me to give you $1 billion when you didn't even know how to handle what I already give you?
Yeah. Showing up late to work.
You know what I mean?
You know, can't even pay your small bills. That's the problem is it's the trusting part. Like trusting,
that's what it is, man.
Trusting God with what He already gave you. Because that's my biggest thing is like, that's what God's teaching me right now. It's like, be happy and be grateful for what you have. The house you have, the job you have, be grateful for it. You know, even the small beginnings with the podcast, right? Because I'm a big media guy. I come from shooting on a TV show. So I'm like, I need the biggest cameras. I need the best mic setup. And this guy is always humble beginnings. And I'm like,
that's not something that I've always been, bro. Like I'm the same way. Like I need the best truck, you know, I need the newest, whatever. Everything's got to be new, brand new, big. And then with like the podcast, like how you're saying, like we have to wait and just kind of have faith, and it's always going to be better. Like 99 for one podcast, or we call it the collective. My vision for 99 for one was going to be like just a clothing brand, just something small. Like, cause I'm an artist and I've always wanted to have a streetwear brand since I was in middle school. I was designing shirts. Yeah. And so I was like, man, I want a streetwear brand, 99 for one. And it was like what I wanted. And I didn't understand, like God was trying to share with me, like it's something bigger than just a clothing brand. Like He gave me the name 99 for one, like, man, 3-4 years ago. And I was like designing shirts. I have all these shirts designed for it already, ready to go. And it just, I couldn't pull the trigger. Like God was not letting me move on that specific thing. And then one day I knew God was sharing with me, like, you need to bring more people. Like it can't just be you. Like you're always been me, and it's not you. It's like, I'm giving you something to steward, something for you to have, but to share with other people. And especially this, you know, knucklehead, like we've always done everything together as far as filming, design, like videos. So it was like, man, why can't we do that now together as fathers, as friends, you know, family, like serving God? Like, why would we not want to do it together? And then we're like, dude, one day I was just like, let's do a podcast. Like, you know, we have so much to share, like, you know, so many stories, so much from growing up. And, you know, like you said, man, we didn't grow up in the church, but I know, like you were sharing, like, we have friends that did grow up in the church, and those dudes were probably more wild than some people who didn't.
No, I'm not saying I was wild, right? But the thing is
his parents are watching.
You know what I mean?
But do that.
The thing is like, I like to always tell everybody, because everyone's like, oh, you think you're better than me? I don't think I'm better than you. Like I'm following somebody who can help you, and I'm just trying to tell you about him. The thing is that nobody likes to get told like what to do or who to follow, or I'm gonna follow who I want to follow, right? But the main thing here is that, you know, following Christ, it doesn't mean I'm better than you. Like if you're not following Christ, it doesn't make me better than you, because we're all sinners saved by grace. Yeah. First of all, okay, so everybody has a misconception of like, oh well, you know, you murdered somebody, but I only stole this. Yeah. A sin is a sin, my friend. It doesn't it doesn't matter. Like, well, how come? You know, how come? It's like, don't ask me. That's what. That's the guy upstairs. That's what he said. You know what I mean? If you want to ask him, then go ahead and follow him. And then when he comes and he takes his people, then you can ask him that. Like, you know, there's a bunch of questions that I've said, like, man, I want to ask God this. You know, like,
we will have that opportunity to ask him.
You know what I mean?
The
like,
Bible talks about that.
Hey, man, like, get Paul 1990. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying. Pull out the list. Let me pull out the list, Lord. But, you know, I want people to know, and I've said it so many times, like, I'm not better than anybody. And that's why I tell people, like, when I bring the guests that I bring, like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't want to put those people on blast, but I've had DMs, like, people like, how could you contradict God, but yet you're hanging out with these people? And it's like, look, okay, hold on, time out. I'm not hanging around with them in their environment. Exactly. They're in my environment. Okay. So by me being who I am, which God made me very charismatic, God made me very energetic, God made me very funny, and I'm going to use those things to honor him, but also to reach out to the lost, right? And take the time to do that. It's like anything else. You guys have 99 for 1. When I started the local podcast, I would just end the podcast like, all right, that's it. It's done. Yeah. And it wasn't until I took a break and I took out, okay, I talk about you a little bit, but what can I say, or what else can I do more to talk about you? And it was during the service. Like, I literally was praying, and literally God just told me, just remind them that I love them. That's all I need. It's this little. Since then, I've had so many people like, hey, bro, thank you for saying God loves me, because I was going through this. I needed to be reminded that he still loves me. No matter how far I've gone, no matter how far I think I am from him, you reminding me that he loves me. Like, it's like, that's a seed, because now your mind starts to wonder, does he really love me even though I was drinking yesterday or I was doing this? Now your mind starts to think, and now you start to think on him, and it's just a seed. Simple little thing as that. But man, I get you on that. Like, a lot of people have that misconception, like of Christianity. Like, we think we're better than them, or we're trying to, and that's why, like, I made my thing, like, I'm not going to try to shove it down your throat. Like, I'm not going to do that. Right. I'm here not to condemn anybody. I'm no one to do that. I'm not a judger. The guy who's going to do the judging is upstairs, not me. Right. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm not supposed to be judging anybody, period. Right. Because
I think that's like the toughest part is, which I see in your podcast, as far as you're like getting people who maybe aren't Christians, right? I mean, I've seen some of the guests you have, and I know they're not Christians. Yeah. They might say, I believe in God, or thank God.
Exactly.
Or whatever. But we know, us as faith believers in Christ, we know what it is to have a true relationship, an intimate relationship with God, where you carry conviction and you don't want to sin. They don't carry that yet. Maybe the Spirit's not there. But just planting that seed. But I think you're always going to have people who criticize you. And I think that's with our podcast. What I told Matt from the beginning was, like, it's not for the Christian, and not that it's not for the Christian, but we're going after the one, like Jesus wanted. Yeah, you're going after the one. Yeah. The lost sheep. What does a lost sheep look like? He looks blemished. He looks beat up, disgusting, alcoholic, drunk, whatever. It doesn't mean we're going to go to the bar and start drinking with them and having this conversation.
Exactly.
But it does mean, like, hey, we want to talk to you, we want to share the gospel with you. Or maybe you didn't think we could be funny and joke and mess around, have these conversations. Like, I've seen your podcast, how it's just, you're being yourself. Yeah. And I think too many people want to see this uptight version of me and Matt. And we're like, that's not us. Like, you don't see the things that happen in our prayer life, in our fasting life, and those things. And nor do you need to see that, because the Bible talks about, like, when people see what you do, you know, it glorifies yourself. Your gift is right there when they see it. But when you do it for God, only God can see it. He's going to bless you with that gift.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah. So I think too many people want to see, like, this holy, you know, turn or burn. You're going to hell if you don't do this, which me and Matt do have some deep discussions on sin, on what the Bible talks about, and what we do in our faith, which some Christians might not even say you need to do all that. It's always going to be debatable.
It's always going to be debatable.
And there's always going to be that criticism where it's like, you're not Christian enough. Your podcast, dude, trust me, some of our, like, young friends at church, thought we were going to have like this teaching podcast. And then they see the first episode where me and this dude are just yapping, joking. And they're like, dude, what was that about? And it's like, dude, that's what we wanted in the first place. Like, you had a misconception. We knew what God asked us to do.
Yeah.
So it's just knowing what God's asking from you, which is be yourself, show people love.
Exactly, man. And that's the thing. Like, I tell everybody, I'm not going to change. God made me this way. And the thing is, DeLoco, I'm a crazy guy. Like, I'm crazy, but I want people to see that I'm crazy for him as well. Like, like when it comes to God, like, okay, there's a limitation to where I go. We can have our conversations right about. And I tell that to all my guests, and thank God, all of my guests that I've had, like, shout out to all my guests. They're very respectable. Like, they respect. And I've had even kudos like, hey, bro, for you to boast your faith and not be ashamed, like, not be like, well, you know, you're like, you say it with authority and you're saying it like full throttle and you're not hesitant to say it, you know, kudos to you. And it's like, that's what we're supposed to do. That's,
and especially with our podcast, it's God is in the mix of almost every episode up to this part. Like, every conversation that we have had, moments even leading up to it, we may not know exactly what we're going to speak about, but God put something on our hearts, like right there at that moment where we're able to like speak it. And the biggest thing that we agreed on was like being relatable and not taking ourselves serious, because that's how we grew up being. Like, if you hang out with us on a barbecue, we're going to be knocking off. We're probably going to be roasting each other. We're probably going to be, you're going to see that. And why should we get on these mics and like speak in a way that you're not going to see us out there doing or anything like that? So I think for us, we've kept that. And I think that's the goal, is to continue to keep that. And God will bring those people that want to listen and hear it. And I was saying to him the other day, I work at the San Antonio Food Bank. So there's a lady who works in the front, and she's an older lady, and she always, every single time a new episode drops, she's like, I listened to it. It's super deep. She's like, I hit the thumbs up button. And I'm like, that's the one. Like,
that's the one right there.
One person that God is reaching, that I would never have thought that she would listen to it. But because someone told her like, hey, Matt has a podcast, like, you should listen to it. Maybe that person's not listening to it, but she is. And so that's the idea behind that. And when he pitched the idea, because I've always wanted to do a podcast, but didn't know what it was going to be about. And he was the one with the vision for this. And I was like, dude, I love the vision. And why wouldn't I want to do something with you?
Yeah, dude.
But what people don't know is like, we're in our relationship as brothers. Like, we're like growing together again. That's good, because for 5 years, he was gone to the Marines and I was here in San Antonio doing my own thing. So when he came back, we didn't have the best relationship. So now doing this podcast, it's also like a process of us growing together again, learning each other again, and helping each other through life again, but with Christ at the center of it. Yeah. So that's like one of the biggest things that people don't get to see, because they always see us and they're always like, oh, you're like the closest brothers. They're always together, and Rob and Matt. But they don't know that.
They don't know the story,
man. They
don't
know the story behind it.
That's good, man.
That's
good.
That's we're going through.
Kudos to you guys. So right now we're going to take a quick commercial break. Cool. And then we'll be right back. And right when we get back, we're going to play a little game called Verano Vibes. So we'll see where it goes from there. Oh. So we'll be right back right now, guys, with the 99for1 podcast. What's up, San Antonio? Are you needing to get your bookkeeping and your tax services done? Then head on over to JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services. You can find JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services on Facebook and on Instagram. So now, it's tax season, baby. So make sure that you head on over to JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services. Don't head on over to La Vecina, who's only got one eye, y la pata chueca, and she can't even remember her own name. She's gonna remember your name to do your taxes. So guys, please head on over to JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services. They are located at 4702 West Avenue, number 8, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78213. You can call them up at 210-816-0357. Again, JD & Associates LLC Bookkeeping and Tax Services, an official sponsor for DeLoco podcast. So we're back right now. We're going to do a little segment, as we usually do with each and every single one of our guests. And it being the month of July, going into August, which is the best months here in San Antonio. We love to sweat.
Love that humidity.
We love that humidity. We love that river coming down, coming down the crack.
That's right. That's right.
We love that Frio River either.
The Frio, it ain't no Frio River, baby. So we're going to do Verano Vibes, right? So it's going to be summer vibes.
Let's get it.
So it's going to be some very simple questions. And you guys that are listening, you guys that are watching, you guys can emphasize and put your input. So, Verano Vibes, are you going to the beach or are you going to the water park? Where are you going?
I mean, after that South Padre incident, I don't think I'll go to the beach, but
Tiburon, baby!
Slitterbond. I'm gonna go with Slitterbond.
Slitterbond?
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah, I'd say Slitterbond.
Slitterbond?
I mean, it depends. Are we talking like another beach outside of Texas? Can we do that? Or
I mean, it's up to you.
Beach?
It could be any beach.
Yeah.
You choose a beach or a water park.
Oh, then I'm going to the beach.
Yeah,
beach outside of Texas. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for real.
After them shark attacks, I gotta go somewhere else.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. Have you seen all the memes that they've been making?
Yes, I have.
My wife was like, "Let that be your tia." Then you're gonna be crying. You're gonna
Exactly,
be crying, doing a plate
bro.
sell for her. Doing a plate sell, and we'll be laughing at you.
Hey guys, we're doing a carnita plate because the tiburon took the carnita from my tia's leg.
That chunk was crazy.
Dude,
it looked fake.
It looked fake, but it was big, dude. But did you see those memes? Like, there's a guy who like he puts it in the background. He does like John Manning. Goes, all right, we're gonna go plate by plate. So what happens here is the shark got curious. He saw carnita asada and he wanted to go ahead and get a piece.
Bro, that shows like how desensitized we are to
Dude,
like things like that, bro.
Crazy.
And people want to say like like we're not that desensitized. I'm like, nah, bro. We could sit here and joke about
They're
shark
literally
attacks.
recording that lady. They're just recording the whole thing.
Yeah, bro. They're like, are you
right there.
okay?
Yeah, they're like right
¿Estás
there.
bien? It's like, bro, she's there like,
Dude,
hell!
there was some guy. He looked like your drunk Theo, just like trying to see what everything was going on.
Yeah, bro, I saw him. He was there when the come. He's like,
Yeah, he saw him.
he was there.
I'm like, dude, if I was the husband, I'd be pissed.
The whole time, bro, he's there. He's looking around. And everyone's like, bro,
Trying to talk to her.
Yeah, he's like, ¿qué está pasando? Ah, le mordió un tiburón.
That's bad, bro.
Dude. Hey, she survived it, and she still had filling in her.
Yeah,
leg.
I thought
dude.
they're gonna take that leg
No,
away.
yeah, she started filling in her leg.
You might have to chop it off, bro.
probably.
Heck no, bro. All right, so perfect. We were just talking about carnita asada. Are you going to be making a carnita asada or eating pizza at El Chuck E. Cheese with all those mocosos?
With the anorexic rat. That's no longer the same. Nah, I'm gonna have to choose some nice meat.
Some nice meat, right? Carnita asada,
Nah,
baby.
me and Matt barbecue every weekend, bro.
We're always barbecuing.
Yeah?
We're always
Yeah.
barbecuing.
We'll invite you next time.
There you go.
Bring
We
the
got to
fam.
do it, dude.
Yeah,
we got to
bring
do
the
it, bro.
fam.
We
Yeah.
got to do it, man. Okay, so making carnita asada. The thing is, though, when I make carnita asada, I still have to deal with mocosos, my nephews and my nieces running around.
Hey, that's how we are, bro.
It's our
Okay.
sons running around.
Yeah, it's
with each other.
our boys.
Oh, man. All right, so you're, what's it say? You're wearing jeans or you're showing off them piernitas and wearing shorts?
I'm trying to find the shortest shorts that I have. For real.
I'm trying to be like you in the Speedo. In
There you
Cancun
go,
next
baby.
week.
Woo! So we're wearing them shorts.
Yeah, I love wearing shorts,
Yeah.
bro. Gym shorts. Just
Gym shorts. Yeah, dude. That's what I'm wearing right now. Dude, it's too hot outside,
dude, the
dude.
humidity's bad, bro.
Oh, dude.
I can't wear
Regular jeans turn to skinny jeans,
Hey,
bro.
for
It's
real.
like, hey,
For
what the
real.
heck is going on here?
Dude, yeah, if you're not from Texas, especially like southern Texas, dude, don't come
Nah,
out here thinking the
dude.
weather's gonna be all sunshine and
Todo
rainbows.
bonito.
Dude.
Nah, dude. Heck no, bro.
I'm like, bro, how do people keep moving from Cali over here to San Antonio? I'm
I don't
like,
know.
y'all, dude, the weather's like total opposite.
Yeah,
horrible.
When I had concrete, he sat on that couch outside and he was there and he just sat there and I was like, "You all right, big dog?" He goes, "Perrito, how you doing out here, big dog?"
Right, it's hot, man. It's crazy.
I said, "What's wrong?" He goes, "Perro, it's hot out here." I
For
said, "I
real.
know, dude. It's hot.
For
It's
real.
hot, dude. I'm sorry,
I feel
dude."
bad. Dude, I was watching the Weather Channel the other day and it was saying like 80, 90 degrees up north. It's like one of the hottest, like the hottest of the temperature of they ever had. I'm like, bruh, 80, 90 degrees, like that ain't nothing. Like come out here, 100% humidity, 100 degrees, like you're be
105
complaining, bro. 90 degrees. I'm like, I wish.
For real.
All right, so this one's gonna be. You're gonna be like, all right, you're gonna be laughing a little bit. Playing it safe and going to the movies, or going fishing and coming back with some broken ribs. So those that don't know, Who broke the ribs? Rob, right? How did you break your ribs, bro?
Dude, bro, I don't even want to say it because it's so bad. Like, I just started jujitsu not even a month ago.
No way.
So
You broke it
3 weeks.
Did somebody break it, or the way you landed?
Yeah, it was myself. Like, I'm like, ain't no one gonna get that on me, bro. You can't say you broke my rib. I broke my own rib.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I was like, man, watch you get hurt. You know, watch something happen. He was always inviting me to go try.
Come on,
like,
bro. Come on.
Bro, it's messed up too because there's like this podcast of like these older dudes talking about like being in your 30s, trying to like that's usually when dudes try to go do.
Yeah, we try to do that. Yeah,
yeah, and he's like, just know you're probably gonna injure yourself. Maybe it's gonna be bad. Maybe it's not. I'm like, I got this. I've been working out. I'm good. Bro, sure enough, like 2 days later, I break my rib, and luckily, like having a broken rib isn't as bad as people think. Like it's really not. Like the worst part about it's like sneezing. Like I couldn't sneeze, or else it felt like I broke it again.
He's saying that, but his broken rib almost ruined one of our podcasts because he was just like out of it. He's just like,
really?
Oh man,
I couldn't sleep though. That was the other bad part. Is like I couldn't sleep in my bed, so I had to sleep on the couch.
Oh,
and so
dang,
that was kind of like keeping me up at night. So I was like super tired on one of our podcasts. I'm like, bro, I can't even think straight.
Yeah, he couldn't think.
My brain's all fogged
right now.
My brain's all fogged.
Oh, that's bad.
Nah,
Just going back to that moment.
Yeah, for real.
Our laughing, bro. That was another thing. Like, I couldn't laugh too hard because you could just feel it. Like, right there. It was bad.
I was just sending him a bunch of funny memes, so he just laughed the whole time. So he just laughed the whole time.
Messed up.
All right, man. So, drinking water or drinking some jarritos? Drinking water or drinking some. I mean, okay. So everyone that's I'm not saying don't drink water, right? Let's drink water. If you're in San Antonio, go ahead and drink your water. We need that H2O in your body. You know what I mean? But if you're at the pool or at the beach, you're gonna drink some water. You're gonna drink some jarritos, or you're gonna drink like dude. Those are my favorite drinks to drink before the gym, dude. That's why when I saw you open it, bro, I was like SpongeBob. I don't need it. I need it.
We always talk about like getting rid of like the energy drinks, but dude, the flavor.
I can't, bro.
Like,
I can't, dude.
It's straight up.
I go to QT, bro. QT's my spot, bro. Hey. People are sleeping on bro. QT's my Buc-ee's, bro. That's my Buc-ee's, dude.
Hey, you got the QT app?
Bro, I got it right here, baby. Para los cupones, dude. For the coupons, dude.
Bro, you could get an extra large pizza for like $9.
Dude,
I'm like,
and the pizza's good.
The pizza's good.
Nah, but I'll probably be drinking some mineral water.
Mineral water?
Yes, Topo Chico.
Topo Chico, dude.
That's how me and Matt do it. Yeah.
All the time.
With a little bit of lime in there. Put some salt, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, I had this funny story. I was trying to make like my own michelada with like just a virgin michelada with the Topo Chico. I put like chamoy in there on the rim, everything, and then I tried to throw some Lucas.
Yeah,
bro, it started fizzing, and then I tried to put it in my mouth, bro, and it literally just came out all of my nose, everything, bro. Everyone was just laughing at me. I tried to stop it. It just like exploded in my face. I didn't know that was gonna happen. It was like putting Mentos in Coke.
Oh man, dude. So mineral water.
Yeah.
Mineral water. Yeah, dude.
That's
I love
what
Topo Chicos,
I've
dude.
been on that right now.
Yeah, we were talking about that on our last podcast. We're like, bro, people say it tastes like TV static. I'm like, how the hell you know what TV static tastes like?
People are sleeping on that. I like it when they put they sell the regular and then the one that comes with lime in it already.
Yeah, that's his flavor. They have a grapefruit flavor on the HEB brand.
HEB?
Yeah, the HEB brand.
How's that one?
17 something. It's like some
What is
number.
it? 18 something?
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
It's good.
And it's
good?
cheaper
Can't
than
sleep on
Topo
it.
Chico got expensive.
Yeah,
bro.
they did get expensive.
It used to be like $1 for a bottle. It's like $3 at QT. I can't. That's one part about QT.
I
don't
know,
like how the
dude.
Topo Chicos are taxed.
Yeah, dude, they tax them there, dude. I remember that girl was laughing one time when I grabbed it and I put it. And then, bro, the other day I was there getting I got my 3 energy drinks I was going to get for the gym. And then I got a Topo Chico, I got a water, and then I got my Dr. Pepper Zero. And she's like, $15.75. So $15.75.
No lie.
No throw a pack of cigarettes in there or what?
Yeah, dude. I was like, what the heck is going on? And she goes, yeah, $15.75, son. I was like, all right.
Let me go put some stuff back.
Hold up, Felicia. Hold up.
Y'all take food stamps?
Yeah, dude. I was like, golly. I said, y'all do payment plans? What's going on?
Was about to affirm it.
Golly, dude.
Y'all do afterpay? Afterpay QT.
All right, it's funny that you're talking about that. So, would you rather have for Verano Vibes sandia with some tajin or just some regular ice cream?
Nah, it's sandia.
Sandia, right? With some tajin and lime, dude.
That's what we've been doing. We've been like, it's our 2 weeks in a row. We went out. We went to the lake on 4th of July, and then this past weekend we went to Gardner State Park.
Oh, nice.
And dude, my wife
Sandia?
always packs sandia with the chamoy, Lucas, lime, everything, bro.
Hits, bro. Especially estás todo sudado, and and then you forget, dude. You forget your hombrecito, bro, because you buy.
That's funny.
Bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, dude. Perfect, man. All right, next. A mangonada with friends or raspa from the ice cream man in the hood.
Man, there's no more hood prices, so I'm about to say the mangonada for sure. Because there ain't no hood prices no more, man.
The other day we were at the house, right? And I was watching a movie, and then I hear the ice cream truck. I was like, dude, it's 8:30, big dog. Mm-hmm. ¿Qué está haciendo el ice cream truck acá, bro? I don't think he's selling ice cream, big dog. I'm like, come on now. Yeah. Come on now.
No, those prices are crazy.
Dude.
Like, you can't go out there with $1 anymore.
No, dude. My daughter, she wanted the SpongeBob. Let me get the SpongeBob. And I'm like, all right, let me get the SpongeBob. I was like, how much is the SpongeBob? Va a ser $4.50. I was like, $4? I said, man, I better be good. Nah, hombre. As soon as they took out the SpongeBob, the eyes were all like that.
I think it melted like 3 inches. Trying to refreeze
I was like, man, what happened to SpongeBob? Es porque está acá abajo, me was all the way to the bottom. I was like, oh, the eyes are all separated. It's like, come on, dude.
I'm going to have to go with the mangonada.
Mangonada, right?
For sure.
Heck yeah, dude, for sure. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Next one. This is a big one, dude. Like, I know a lot of people like the first one, but maybe you like the second. We're doing a staycation or a vacation. What are we doing?
What's a staycation?
Staycation is like, let's say you and your brother decide with y'all's wife and kids, hey, you know what? Instead of us going on vacation, we're just gonna go to, like, here in San Antonio. We're gonna go stay at a hotel, and we'll be tourists for the weekend or something like that.
Nah, bro, I'm going vacation. I gotta get out of this weather for a little bit.
I'm gonna say staycation because we can always find something. My family and I, we always try to find something
to do.
The other day, we just randomly took a drive to IKEA, and we're just like, let's just walk around IKEA for like 3 hours and like kill some time out there and just hang out. So I would say staycation.
Staycation,
bro. Me and my wife, we were driving back from Gardner, and we saw some trains, and we're like, dude, let's set up a train ride. Like, that'd be cool. Like, I've never I mean, you're Mexican. You don't know anybody taking trains unless they're hopping the train.
I know, dude.
So I'm like, let's take a train ride. And she's looking them up like $400. I'm like, for all of us? No, for one ticket. I'm like, nah, we're flying somewhere, bro.
That's crazy.
$400?
Yeah, nah, I'm good.
Because you could take a train from here to like other places.
Yeah, we're trying to I don't know. She was looking at like Tennessee. It was like $400 for one person.
That's crazy.
I'm like, bro, you could fly cheaper that round trip.
Yeah, dude, you can, dude.
It's
crazy,
not that cool of an experience.
It better be a Harry Potter experience.
Yeah, man, better be, dude. Universal Studio or something, you know.
Yeah, for real.
Better be a bullet train.
I better see Shrek coming out that curtain, big dog.
Yeah, for real.
For real. That's funny.
Speaking of which y'all would do, so where's one place you'd like to go have a summer vacation? Like, let's say it's something like, you're not doing it now, but let's say it's a vacation that you have in mind that you would always want to do or that you've always wanted to do somewhere. Doesn't have to be summer, but I just say summer, right? But
I'm going to say one that I want to do that needs to get done, and it's going to Saltillo. My wife's from Saltillo.
Oh, really?
And so for years since I've been married to her, we've been married for going on 11 years. She's been like, you need to come.
Yeah, my love, bro.
So my sons have been there. My
really?
sons have been there. Yeah, so they've been there. And my son spent like a whole 2 weeks in Saltillo for summer break, and he loved it. Dude was playing with marbles. He never played with marbles before. He was there hanging out. No phones, no nothing.
Nothing, dude.
But I think that summer that she shows me pictures all the time, and I'm like, man, I need to go.
Over there, bro. So my wife, right, she's from Musquis. And over there, dude, time is like slow, dude.
Yeah.
People are up until like midnight. If you go out there 9 o'clock, people are barely taking the barbecue pits to the front. People are chit-chatting with one of the kids running around. And it's like, time is slow, dude. Like, everything is slower. You come here, everything's like real fast-paced, bro. Over there, más calmado, there's no signal, and it's good there's no signal because you get to enjoy like the moments that you're there. You know what I mean? So, okay, Saltillo, okay, perfect. Do you have any spot, Rob?
Man, I've been to Hawaii and I want to take my wife there, or like Guam, like somewhere island, tropical, you know. It's beautiful, man. Like, I would tell anyone, you know, make that one of those trips that you would go
Nice,
to. It's worth it for sure. Like I know people say, why is it expensive? I'm like, bro, it's a vacation.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a vacation,
you're not gonna live
bro.
there. Like go
Yeah.
spend the money. But we've been to Cancun. Cancun's beautiful.
Yeah,
bro.
I've never been, and I know
We
the
went when we were
last.
kids, though.
Pobrecita mi wife, bro. We haven't gone on vacation in like 2 years, bro.
It'd be like that. It'd be like
I
that.
told my wife when we went camping, I'm like, we're going on vacation. She's like, stop calling it that. I'm like, nah, it's vacation, baby.
I mean, last year we went with my family, my parents and I. We went to South Padre Island, but the tiburones were way up in the water, right? But it not like this. Like I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, we went to Disney. We went to Universal Studios. She got Tochifla, right? We went to both. But now this time I said, okay, we're gonna go. But this time we're going with my wife's side of the family. So all of us are gonna go.
How old are your kids?
So I only have one, which is my daughter Camila. She's 5.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
cool.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
5.
that's a good age.
I have a 6-year-old right now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. But that's why me and my wife were like, we can't go to like Universal or any
Yeah.
of those because like the 1-year ain't gonna remember it. So
No.
kind of just wait till he's
No.
older.
Yeah. See, like right now, I'm trying to plan to go to Disney next year because my daughter's already.
Yeah, that's a
Every
good
time
age.
she sees bro, I feel bad because I used to be that kid too with my parents when I was growing up, bro. With you see the Slitterbond ad
Oh,
on the
yeah.
TV, like, "Bah, look, I want to go." And my dad said, "We'll go," and then we end up at Six Flags. It's like, ah,
Hey, you're the kid in the
Slater
commercial.
yeah,
You're the
Slater,
kid in the commercial with the
mama.
pool.
And then you're there, you're like, "Dad, I want to go there." And you're like, "Okay, mijo, we'll go on the weekend." And, Dad, what is Bugs Bunny doing here? Oh, dude, I used to always want to go there, dude.
yeah.
And I know we went recently last year. That's when we went. I'd never been to Slitterbond,
dang.
and we went to the
2
one
years for
in
me.
South Padre, dude. So I was I was like a kid, dude. I was like, what's wrong with you? I said, man, you don't know how many times when the commercial would come out, I'll go running to go tell my
real?
friends, like, look. And then you see the dog jumping in the pool.
No, yeah,
and then they're with the water. Why stay here in the boring pool when you can go to Slitterbond?
Dude, those commercials.
Crazy, dude. 90s, baby, dude. Those are the days, dude.
Those were the days.
Those are the days. All right, man. That's pretty much it. It's very, very simple, dude. But the other thing I was going to talk about, I know a lot of people were DMing me about it, but what do y'all think about the... you already know how I'm going to go.
I was starting to smile. I was like, laughing.
Hey, what do you think about this Trump thing? Like, what do you think about that?
Man, it's crazy. We were
Oh, Donnie.
Yeah, man. Nah, me and Matt we were camping, so we didn't have service, and like we'd get like little patchy service, and like I'm in a group text with all the leaders in our church, and they were like Donald Trump just got shot, like pray for him, like all that's going on.
Dude, it's crazy.
And we're just like, dang, like you don't realize how significant something is in our history anymore because there's so much
stuff
crazy thing
going on,
bro.
dude.
You're like, what's the big deal? Like,
Yeah, bro.
And that's how I kind of look at it. Like, sadly, I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, that's kind of how I was so like not affected by it. Like, even though I know it's such a big deal, it was just kind of like, oh, dude, just another crazy thing happening in the world. But it is like, dude, that's something our children are gonna have in their textbooks.
In textbooks, yeah.
And then they were talking about like
That
it's been-
picture.
yeah, for real. Fight. I thought he was saying something else, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was cussing at him. I'm like, what did he say?
I thought it was crazy because like the next few days later, he went to his he showed up again to, I forgot what they call it.
A rally?
Yeah,
like
the rally.
Like his rally.
He had the tape on there.
And then like I'm Proud to Be American was playing on the background. He's like walking, and I'm gonna lie, like I was like sitting there on my phone rewatching the video. I was like, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah, dude.
who knows what will be like the next event like this, but to watch somebody and I'm seeing like there's two sides of it. Like, there's people that have these rude comments to it. There's those that are like hyped up, and then there's the Christian world that I'm seeing that like there was like prophecies that were like preached or spoken about like years ago about like the assassination of Donald Trump, and people are like posting those clips. So just to see all that just be stirred around is just like crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Because the thing is like, I don't know how more clear people have to know that God's coming. Like, there's like no other. I mean, what else do you need him to do? Yeah. But the thing is like, there's gonna be a time and a place where you're gonna see it happen. Like, you're gonna see that he's real, and still there's gonna be people that are gonna deny him, dude.
Yeah, that's what, like, I mean, it depends what you believe. Like, post-tribulation, meaning like either Jesus is gonna come back, people are gonna stay here, or he's gonna come back and that's gonna be it, right? Like post-trib, pre-trib, it's whatever you believe. But if pre-tribulation's real, where we all vanish and our clothes are just left here, like you've seen those movies Left Behind or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if that is real, like, and people are still denying that Jesus is real, like
that's wild.
that blows my mind. I understand, like, if you're doing it to survive because you know, they say mark of the beast. You're gonna need to buy food and all that. Like, I understand. Like, bro, I tell people this all the time. If you don't carry the Holy Spirit now, and you don't have that discernment, that strength that the Spirit gives you, imagine if your family's being tortured, persecuted, whatever the case is. You're not gonna stand up for what is right. Then you're gonna give in.
Yeah,
and it's like that's why we have to stand up now. Like, I'm a big believer on like, we need to operate and carry the Spirit right now, especially as Christians and true believers. Bro, so many people that you would never believe are getting saved right now. And you know, crazy, the Bible talks about at the end times there'll be a great outpouring of the Spirit.
Yeah, among all flesh.
So many people getting saved, and like people want to just turn a blind eye to that. Like your favorite celebrity, your favorite artists, like wrestlers are getting saved. Like,
bro, Daddy Yankee, bro. Daddy Yankee. I get to dance already, really, dude.
But that's what I say to the Trump thing is, people treat that guy like their savior.
Oh, dude,
you know,
that's the sad part.
That's the sad part to me, where I'm looking at this and I'm like, if he becomes the next president, like, it's not going to change much.
No.
And the true savior that is gonna change your life and change this whole world is right now. Like right here, you have the opportunity to live that life.
Yeah,
like,
to live it. Yeah.
And that's the part to me with the whole Donald Trump thing is this, like, people would rather believe in that guy than the true savior that can save your life and your family's life, and this, you will never meet this guy, you know?
No,
so it's crazy how people
I mean, it's
treat
definitely, I ain't gonna lie, like, I don't care what people think about, you know, my political view, but it's definitely gonna be better than what we got going on right now.
Yeah, man. And that's
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, kudos to my pastor, right? So Saturday, this event happened, right? So kudos to my pastor, Pastor Jonathan, who I've had on the podcast.
Yeah, watch that one.
Kudos to him, man, because he actually changed the service on Sunday. So Sunday I was playing drums and he changed it to where after the second worship song was played, he was going to come out and he was going to do a prayer. And he prayed. He said, we need to pray for our nation. Like, we need to pray for Donald Trump, but we need to pray for our leaders. We need to pray for that God is in this nation again, right? And God we trust again. You know, he goes, whatever your political beliefs are, you know, God allows you to believe like who you want to choose. But at the end of the day, the main goal here is that this nation is one nation under God again, right? And that's what we need to pray for.
I was thinking about that too the other day. I'm like, what if Joe Biden, okay, because like we look at the Christian people are mostly going for Trump, right? So what if Joe Biden decided to give his life for Christ and was sold out for Christ? Would then Christians go for Biden? You know, that's the real question for Christians. Tongue twister. That's a real question for Christians. It's like, if you're so much a believer in Christ, you should be going for whoever is also a firm believer, because you know, God willing, this is something that wakes up Donald Trump, and you know, man, it could bring him to Christ, and you know, he does believe, but this could be one of those moments that really complete changes him,
where he sees that God was protecting him, right? Because I don't know if you have seen that peripheral view, right, where it shows the bullet, right? But if he would have turned his head like a little bit more, like,
or if he left his head,
he would have been done, dude.
Yeah, they showed like a diagram, like a 3D.
It showed like the brain, and it showed how that if he would have stayed there, dude, he would have been dead, dude.
Now it's sad, bro. I believe people are blinded, you know, by we're being divided, man. And
that's what's happening.
It sucks because it's like everyone should be able to have their own view and still care for each other, love each other, and be there for each other. And you know, our beliefs, you know, like I always say is on our podcast, is like, if you don't agree with what I believe, that's okay. Like, I can't force you or argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, it's silly for me to cast my pearls to swine. The Bible tells me that. Like, don't waste my time doing that. But if I can show people like what it looks like to be in the middle, not on the fence, but in the middle, loving both sides, like that's where I want to be when Jesus comes back. Because that's what is the second most important commandment that Jesus said for us to do? Was to love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? And we all love ourselves. We don't know how to love other people sometimes just because they have different beliefs than us. But you know, Jesus is coming back, man, whether y'all want to believe it or not.
Yeah, he's coming, man. And the thing is like, I'm not trying to bring up politics or anything. I'm not trying to do that, right? It's just I wanted to get y'all's perspective because there was a lot of people, dude, like a lot of people are like, and then you had other people like, man, how come they miss? And it's my brother, what is wrong with you, dude?
I don't care. What
like, heck is wrong with
I
you,
don't care what your beliefs are. Like, if that's your mindset, dude, hate that bad, like, bro, you need to reevaluate your life.
Dude.
Yeah, that's sad. And it's crazy too, because at our church we have we just kind of started doing this. Is like monthly what do you call them?
Sermon
topics? Series. Like
okay.
Yeah.
And this month's sermon series was intercession, which is crazy because it's like we need to be interceding for our country, and our Bible talks about all leaders.
Yeah, all leaders.
Whether you like them or not, you should be praying that God
puts them there for a reason. He knows.
However he wants to use them, whether it's to punish us or not.
Yeah.
People think God is just this all-loving God.
Yeah.
But if you read the Old Testament, that's still the same God that's today. And he would make people learn lessons the hard way.
Oh,
and we're learning the hard way. I forgot what in the Bible it talks about, like, give us a king. And then they gave him a king, and they were like getting, just pushed down, and they hated it. And it's like, bro, you asked for that. And that's kind of how we are, like, get rid of Trump. And now we're like, gas prices are so high, I hate this, food's so expensive. It's like, dude, we asked for this. Everyone asked that didn't like Trump, to get him out of there, and that's what happened. And now look, we're suffering.
Sorry. I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, whoever it is, right, we got to pray for them, right? At the end of the day, we got to pray for everybody, our leaders, right? That God give them wisdom, prudence, diligence, because at the end of the day, running, United States, that's a big thing. Like, I've seen those memes, right, where they're like, hey, Biden, what are you doing? It's like, it's like, come on, dude.
I know that, but I think it's important that, we're all fathers here. And so it's important that as fathers and as husbands that we take charge in our own home, and raise our kids up. That's something, that conversation my wife and I are having right now. It's how much more to continue to keep pouring into our kids, especially I have a 10-year-old and I have a 6-year-old, but like to show them like, hey, there is a presidency coming up, but we keep our faith in Christ, and you teach them in that way, and you continue to show that example in the home. And that's in the, Rob and I always talk about, it's like being priests in our own home and leading our family in that direction. So I think it's like, yes, we want to pray for our president, trust in him, but also let's protect our home.
Our home,
Let's lead our home in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, I've honestly, felt since the beginning of this year, like come the month of November, dude, it's going to be wild, dude. Yeah, I honestly feel it's going to be wild. Yeah. Like it's going to be crazy. And I honestly feel like, I don't even know how to, I mean, you guys are going to understand me, right? But the people that are listening, some of them will understand, some of them won't, right? But something within me, like in my spirit, like it's telling me like, it's going to be like, it's going to be something for us to be prepared. Like we need to be, like our spiritual eyes need to be awakened. Like we need to be, because God says it in the last days, there's going to be some that are in a slumber, right? That you're spiritually just dead. Like you just, estás dormido, you're asleep. And God's like, hey, hello, wake up. You're just, you're asleep, whatever. But yeah, no, man, I just wanted to get y'all's feedback and see
we could talk all day about that.
Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. Like, I didn't want to make it too much of
for sure.
What it is, dude. But I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, guys, those that are listening, those that are watching, we need to pray for this nation. That's what we need to do at the end of the day. What I respect everybody, whatever you whatever side you're on, the red or the blue, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we need to pray for this nation, pray for the next president, pray for the president that's here. Whether you like him or not, God put him there for a reason, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my 2 cents on Biden too, right? And it's like, but that's me, right? But at the same token, I'm like, okay, God, I can say all that, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's in control. So I can only do so much, right? I can only do so much. But we're at the last 5 minutes. So where anybody that's listening in, where can they find you at, your social media stuff? And then what do you guys have coming up?
Yeah. So the social media for the podcast is the 99for1 podcast. That's 99 for the word 4 and then the number 1 podcast. That's where we're posting all the clips throughout the week. And then every Friday on YouTube, if you look us up, 99for1 podcast, every Friday on YouTube, we post at 6 a.m. for all the early birds. And,
there you go.
And that's where we're at with that. What's coming up?
So we have some merch, not really merch because we're only doing one design of a t-shirt. But like we always say, humble beginnings, right? We got to start somewhere. Dude. So we'll be releasing, hopefully by the end of this month, the month of July. That's July. I was like, wait, what month? I'm talking about August earlier. The month of July, we're going to be releasing a 1 shirt limited run. So if you want to get one of those, we're still kind of hashing out the details. We're probably going to try to collab with maybe a coffee shop, a food spot, or, give us some ideas where y'all want to meet up with us. But we want to do it local here for all our San Antonio viewers. So if you do want a shirt, just follow the Instagram, like Matt said, 99for1 podcast on Instagram. So you can be up to date with all of that. But that's really all we have coming up. I mean, we're going to be on what episode?
We're going on episode 7.
Yeah, episode 7.
Nice,
so
man.
We were out in the wilderness. So
Yeah,
if
we
you
shot
wanna
our podcast.
yeah,
Congratulations to you guys for taking that step. Episode 1 is that first step, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest comes.
Yeah.
Like I'm super. I can't believe I'm on episode 62
I know,
right
it's
now.
crazy.
That's
I'm on
crazy.
episode 62. That's ridiculous, dude. I'm like, okay, guys. All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So,
Yeah, so that's all we got for right now. Hopefully soon we'll get some more mics and we can start having guests as well. We'll definitely have you on there.
yeah, man, I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, I'm always
Mm-hmm.
down to do collabs with different people and show up and
Yeah, we appreciate
chat
you
it up,
having
dude.
us on here, bro.
Yeah,
We know
for
that
real.
like sometimes in the San Antonio community there can be a lot of like
yeah, man.
people don't want to help each other. Everyone's
Mm-hmm.
trying to climb to the top, but I really genuinely appreciate you having us out here
Yeah,
and showing
man.
us like, man, you know, as podcasters, there's very little in this
Yeah, man.
city that we can come together, especially Christian podcasters,
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
which is even crazier to kind of have the same ideas that we have. Really inspires us to keep pushing, keep moving, and hopefully get to where you're at, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all the love and kudos to you guys and prayers for you guys that you guys will, you know, God will grow your podcast as well as God has used me. And I continue to pray daily, right, that God will continue to use me in different avenues of meeting new people, meeting big people from TikTok, big people from LA. But the most important is to guide them to Christ, right? That's the biggest thing for me. But guys, thank you guys for listening in. This has been episode number 62. Guys, just like I always say, take the time to trust in God, place Him first in your life. It's not easy, but placing Him first, He can help you out in any situation or circumstance that you're facing. It might not go the way that you want it to go, but trusting in Him and allowing yourself to fully devote yourself to Him, you'll see that life becomes a lot better. So guys, this is just a friendly reminder, is that God loves you. Dios Te Ama, and we will see you on the very next episode.
Amen.
Amen.
Estás escuchando DeLoco Podcast.
Local podcast.